Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. Today is September the 19th. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation, and this is our Hood Recovery Services. You can reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. I greet you this morning. I'm going to do your spiritual principle a day in a meditation. So I hope you're excited about that. I am. This one always seems to be a little bit more complicated to read, not because I can't, but I think somehow we've grown from the production of the Just for the Day to now, the present, and there's so much that they try to add in, trying to be politically correct. It makes it a complicated one to read sometimes at the spur of the moment. But let's go ahead and get into September 19th, a bond of selflessness. So the spiritual principle is selflessness. Okay, let's go. Make us servants of your will and grant us a bond of selflessness, that this may truly be your work, not ours, in order that no addict anywhere need die from the horrors of addiction. This one is special. I don't know. I think God has a way of being humorous. This comes from the basic text, the introduction. I'll tell you a little bit about it as we go along. Let's read it. The service work we do in NA is all about carrying our message of hope to addicts seeking recovery. No matter what our beliefs about a higher power are, most of us can agree that anything capable of keeping addicts all over the world clean, just for today, is a power greater than any of us as individuals. I couldn't keep myself clean, one member shared. So there's no way I have the power to keep anyone else clean either. The same holds true with our service efforts. Our job is not to keep anyone clean or make anyone recover. We carry the message. Our service prayer was adapted from the literature prayer in the basic text, acknowledging the crucial role selflessness plays in our services. Many of us understand a higher power to simply be whatever force keeps us clean. And when we serve selflessly, we can be a part of that force for the addicts who benefit from our work. Selflessness isn't always easy. Self-centeredness will try to make our work about us rather than those we serve. Maybe we think a certain service position will make us popular or powerful. Maybe we think sponsoring a lot of addicts or the cool addicts will lend us some prestige in our anonymous fellowship. Maybe we think having the biggest home group or the best conventions means we are recovery rock stars. Some members say that ego can stand for edging God out. And there's some truth in that. When we allow ourselves to move to the center, we have to push something or someone else out of the center. The service prayer reminds us to keep the needs of the still suffering addict at the heart of our service efforts. We do our part and then try to stay out the way. We won't get it perfect, but practice helps. I will practice selflessness by striving to keep the message and a power greater than myself at the center of my service efforts. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. selflessness, the true spiritual principle behind service work. I love it. The reason why I said God has a sense of humor is because when I would travel around and go share, which reminds me, I got to get back in touch with this lady that wants me to share in Connecticut. So when I would go around and share, I would always open with this reading from the beginning part of the basic text in the introduction. Because for some reason, I get agitated when I think about individuals like ourselves that could not stop using even for a day. Getting some clean time and getting a reprieve from active addiction and becoming productive members of society, and then wanting to claim all the glory and the credit for what they've done for themselves. I would just get so agitated. And I can remember in the beginning, I was like, how is it this piece of work, individuals that have remained now, granted, I hung out with some of the people that were responsible for actually writing the original basic text, but they're gone. I think maybe one of them may still actually be alive. Can't remember. But granted, I had that privilege several years ago. So I have some information, and you can get it too, about which particular addict actually penned a certain chapter or story. But collectively, they all came together and approved that, and they took everyone's name off of it so that it would remain anonymous. So when they prayed this prayer, make us servants of your will and grant us a bond of selflessness, they're saying we don't want the glory. We don't want the credit. We want to make sure that the message is clear, the purpose is clear, and the fact that our higher power, a power greater than ourselves, was able to accomplish this work. I don't see any reason for that to change. I don't. I don't see that any reason for that to change. I've been in big areas. I've been in small areas. I enjoy all types of areas. The ones I enjoy the least would be retreats in the woods. However, I have been able to partake in those and enjoy some of those events as well. All of it has to be based in selflessness, in the message being carried, and remembering you may be the rock star of the area. You may be responsible for fun and entertainment or the programming committee for the convention. You may be the chair of that, but you didn't become the chair by yourself. Some people voted you in. Now, if you're in a lazy area where people don't really do service work, you might have ended up with it just because no one else wanted to do it, but no one wanted to watch that arm, I would say that arm or that committee or that purpose of that committee die away, right? So we have ended up with people that were responsible for fun and entertainment because nobody else wanted to be bothered with all that it takes to plan something and actually keep a commitment for an event, right? So that does happen, but it shouldn't. And even lately in my area, there's been some meetings that have had to close because no one else wanted to do the work. No one else wanted to be the GSR. No one else wanted to chair the meeting. There's some meetings right now that have no business group. They have people that come in and they chair, but no one is saying, I want to be a home group member and do service work. Don't let that be your story. You're here, you've benefited from this program. Go ahead and give back. Go ahead and give back. It's not an I thing, it's a we thing. And it's just, you don't have to give back every week, every meeting. I have one group that I do service work in every Monday. Today is one of those days. And I can tell you, sitting here right now doing this podcast, that I am not looking forward in any kind of way to leaving my home here in the next hour or two and not returning until 9 at night. That will make a 12-hour day. And I'm not even including doing the podcast and how early I get up to make sure my family is okay. You don't find me complaining about that. I may not be looking forward to it, but I guarantee you one thing is certain and two are for sure. That when my feet hit the ground, I'm grateful for my recovery. I'm grateful for who I've become in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity for me to be able to participate in life. And when whatever comes my way, I'm going to make the best decision about how I can go about it and participate in it in a selfless manner that will benefit the whole, not just one or two, but everyone. It's second nature. It's second nature, and it comes with what? Practice. That's why I'm so happy to see this reading today. I'm so happy to see how it closed. The service prayer reminds us to keep the needs of the still suffering addict at the heart of our service efforts. Ask yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing? And if I'm not doing anything, why not? But this is for those that are doing something service-wise. What's the purpose? Right? We do our part and then try to stay out of the way. We won't get it perfect, but practice helps. Promise yourself today that you will practice selflessness by striving to keep the message and a power greater than yourself at the center of all your service efforts. We're not doormats, so I'm not saying show up to do service and let people walk all over you. If you know anything about me, that definitely is not what I'm saying. But I am saying, make sure your motives are right. But if you're not doing service work, you don't have to worry about that now, do you? There's a lot of work to be done in your area. And I want to encourage you to find out how soon, if you're new, how soon can you do some service work? And start doing it. Be safe. My name is Mighty Stream, and I've enjoyed talking to you, and I will be talking to you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day on purpose.